For this video, we're going to continue with our probability. We're going to start on page 559, so go ahead and get your books out and get ready before you start your video. So in this section here, we have the probability events that involve and or. So we're going to take a look at our same contestants again, and what we look at over here is when we're looking at probability, the word and means the event has characteristics of both possibilities. So I want you to come over here to question 1. I want you to stop the video. I want you to answer 1, A, B, and C. When you are done, turn it back on to check your answers. So 1A, how many contestants are females who are under 21? Well, there are only 2, so we'll do 2. How many contestants are there in total? As we looked at last time, there were 12. So then what is the probability that the randomly chosen contestant will be female and under 21? That would be a possibility of 2 out of 12, which we could reduce to 1/6. Okay. Now let's take a look at question 2. Now we're going to bring in or. The contestant will be female or under 21. Come down here, your math tip. In probability, or always includes the possibility of both. So a little bit of difference here. So I want you to, again, pause, do question 2, and when you're finished, turn this back on to check your answers. So how many contestants are female or under 21? You should have found 8 out of the 12, which we could reduce to, I'm down here, which we could reduce then to 2/3. How many contestants are female or under 21? Of course, I messed up there. That was the 8. Now what I want to do is I want to compare question 1 to question 2. Question 1, when we were working with and, we had 2 out of the 12. When we did and. When we did or, we ended up with 8 out of the 12. So this was the or. So you can kind of see, compare and contrast this. You see that or actually opens up more options for you. Okay? Let's take a look at 3. Once again, stop the video. When you are finished, I want you to check your answers. All right, let's take a look at A. Has a first name after N in alphabetical order. You should have found 3 out of the 12, which would be a 1/4. Has a first name after N and is male. That would only include 1 out of the 12. And then has a first name after N or is male. So has a first name after N or is male, then you bring in 8 out of the 12 contestants, which would, of course, reduce down to 2/3, basically what we had in question 2. So again, make your comparison. If we come up here to B, when we did our and, we only had 1 possibility, but when we brought in the or, we had 8 possibilities. Now we're going to take a look at question 4. Very often we will show sample spaces using tables rather than lists. So you can see at the top of page 561, you have a hero, or sorry, you have a table that has the hero comics, and you have the other tokens, the monkeys, elephants, caribou, and bear. So I want you to read this one. I want you to then, once you have finished reading the scenario here, I want you to go to the next page at 561, and you're going to answer question 4 all the way to F. I'm going to go ahead and shift that to the next page. Just a couple of things before you start. The word cell, okay, that just refers to all of the boxes are really the little rectangles here. Another thing when you're trying to distinguish a cell, we have these are the rows, and these are the columns. Okay. So Hero Comic 1 would be considered to be in column 1. Okay. And then let's take the bear. If we looked at the bear, we would consider him to be in row 4. So kind of taking these hints, I want you to pause the video and see what you can do for A through F. A, using the eraser end of your pencil, locate the cell in the table that represents getting an elephant and a Hero Comic 2. So elephant is row 2, Hero Comic is column 2. So this should have been what you got for A. B, which cells of the table represent getting a caribou? Well, that would be count down row 1, 2, 3. So it is all the cells in row 3. Which of the cells of the table represent getting a Hero Comic 3? Go up here. Hero Comic 3 is in column 3. So 1, 2, 3. So that would be all of the cells in column 3. How many outcomes are there in the sample space for this probability? So that would just gone back up here and counting all your cells, and you should have counted a 12. All right, now locate again the cell in the table that represents getting an elephant and Hero Comic 2. What is the probability of getting an elephant and, here we are, and Hero Comic 2? I'll say we'll go back to here where I marked that A, and that is going to be, what is the probability of getting this combination? It is only that one cell, so that is only going to be 1 out of 12. Now we're going to go to the OR. Now find the probability of getting an elephant or Hero Comic 2. So if we come over here to elephant, well, we could have it here as well as here, and then our Hero Comic 2 is going to hit here, here, and here. So if we count out all of those possibilities, remember your A, this one we will only use once. That means we're only going to get 6. And so that would give you the 6 out of 12, which would reduce to 1/2. And then we're going to take a look at one more table, which is question 6. So move to question 6 in your book. We have a store has 48 different phones available with or without caller ID and with or without a speakerphone. The number of phones with and without these features are shown in our two-way frequency below. So I want you to again pause your video and answer these questions. One thing I do want to point out is when you get to C down here, they are going to want you to change these to decimals, and they want you to round those to 3 decimal places. 3 decimal places, remember, is the thousandths. Since once you get to C, you are going to be changing these to decimals, you do not need to reduce the fractions. Once you write your probability down, just go ahead and do your division. All right, let's see how you did. How many of the phones have caller ID? So we're going to come up here. We have caller ID. We have some with speakerphone, some without, but here's our total of 20. So you would have 20. What is the total number of phones that the store has available? So if we come over here, the number total that the store has is right here, which is going to be 48. Now, if a phone is chosen at random, what is the probability that it has caller ID? So we're going to come up here to caller ID. We're going to go back to that total here, and we see that we would have the 20 out of the 48. And if we then give our answer to 3 decimal places, that should have gotten you approximately 0.417. D, a phone is chosen at random from the ones available at the store. Find the probability that the phone has a speakerphone. So if we come up here to our column of speakerphone, we go down to that total, and that would be 34 out of the 48. Go ahead and change that to your decimal to 3 decimal places, and that would be 0.708. D2, it has a speakerphone and a caller ID. So we come over here, speakerphone and caller ID. Let me go ahead and let's do a different color. So speakerphone, caller ID, right here. So that would give you 18 out of your 48 for 0.375. Speakerphone, but does not have caller ID. So go to speakerphone here, no caller ID here, and that would give you a total of 16 out of the 48, which would have been, or is, approximately 0.333. And then your last one, speakerphone or has caller ID. So speakerphone here, or has caller ID. So speakerphones, we have the total of 34, okay, which is the 18 and the 16. And then come up here to caller ID, we will add in an additional 2, which would give us 36. So 36 out of your 48, which would leave you with 0.75. All right, this will be the end of the video. I'm going to post the problems that I would like for you to do, and you will do those problems for me and submit them.